He has come to us from the Gareth Edwards golf course. He has come to us from the poolside of the Cascades Hotel. And I wonder where next Gareth Edwards will be tuning in from. We take you back now to Sun City as we mark the end of the three-day tourism business conference that has been taking place. It is Tourism Month, and that's where our focus is. It's all about making sure that the industry is robust, making sure that you bring all of the industry minds and leaders in one place, the captains of industry, to try and resuscitate the tourism industry. Gareth, I see you on a quad bike somewhere. There you are, living your best life. Where are you now, Gareth?
Yeah, quite right. So welcome back, everyone. You're right, the Gary Player Country Club is where I was this morning. I'm afraid you all missed the putt of the century. It was off camera. You didn't get a chance to see it. So I'm very sad about that. I was certain that if they were able to watch me play on the putting green on live television, I'd be playing at the Nedbank Golf Challenge later this year. Sadly, you missed it all. I can guarantee it was worth the replay, though. Then we found ourselves at the Cascades pool, as you were saying, and that was a fascinating chat, wasn't it, Tommy? Hearing from three young women, and that was important, three young women, not just in South Africa, but even from Eswatini, about their views of the Tourism Council, what are the problems that they're experiencing, and what is actually working for them. And obviously, the blackouts were always going to be an issue. We had the MD of MSC Cruises with us right at the beginning of the show today. That was Ross Volk. Luckily for their business, it's not too bad. Yes, there could be some problems when it comes to logistics. Obviously, those big cruise ships need to get refreshments, get fresh food brought to the harbour, then onto the ship or onto the cruise liner. But obviously, the cruise liner itself is not affected by the blackouts. But we cannot come to Sun City, of course, and not have a little bit of fun, because when, Pumeza, good morning to you. Pumeza from Monkwe Game Trackers, when you get hold of international tourists and local tourists coming to Sun City, it's a slightly different concession, yes, still part of the Sun City property. This is what the tourists are coming here for when they want a bit of adventure, isn't
Absolutely. It? Absolutely, exactly. This is what we call, previously Sun City used to have a theme called Creating Million Thrills, and I think this is part of what the thrills are, is that you're not only coming for conferencing or for leisure, but you get to explore, you get to participate in adventure, you get to do different activities. And so Monkwe Game Trackers is an activities provider here at Sun City.
So what do you do here?
So I'm the divisional operations manager, so I oversee operations. I planning, bookings, ensuring that we have enough equipment. We've got the teams are ready. The teams are motivated to execute, to take clients on different adventure. That's basically what I do.
Let's talk about those adventures quickly. So what do you offer? Obviously, we're here on the quad bikes. I'm still trying to remember how I'm supposed to start it, but I'll get to that. Times when I get there, I'll figure out how the quad bike works. I start something, press something, and I'm apparently supposed to drive off. We'll see how that goes. What else do you guys offer here?
So we offer hot air balloon safaris in the Pietermaritzburg National Park. We offer game drives. So we've got different types of safari experiences on air, on ground, on foot, like bushwalks. And we also offer the quad biking, which is what we are on now. We offer archery over there. We've got our setup ready. And then we also do chimpanzee. We've got team buildings for corporates, team buildings for families, team buildings for different people. We have a function venue, which we call the Wallo. You can bring your teams and they can have a wedding, a function, a year-end party. So that's some of the things that
and
we
they
offer.
can pop right off into Sun City as well, because you're basically in the property. I'm sure you would have noticed, Tommy, that they've given me the quad bike. What they haven't given me is the option of the archery. I don't think anyone trusts me enough with a bow and arrow, because this could end very badly for everyone. Pumeza, while we're talking about what you do here,
yes,
last year when we were at the Tourism Business Council, the conference, a lot of it was COVID recovery because of what happened in South Africa. Sun City itself shut down for over 100 days. What was it like for you then as a company that does adventure, which is what no one could do, and how has it been since then?
The COVID time was difficult. I think all of us experienced it. But we found that many people, because of the lockdowns, many people had been in their houses for too long, that they just wanted to come out. They wanted to be on adventure. They wanted to, we found that safaris were more on demand. Vacation clubs started opening up because there are timeshare owned.
Yeah.
So, and they could control. I mean, movements in between chalets is much more controlled. So we could service those clients, and people just wanted to be out there in the bush, and that's one thing that, there was not much restrictions in terms of contact. And so we find that even now, many people have been waiting to escape, waiting to come out, they preferring to work, to do pleasure. I think there's a phenomenon called pleasure, where they have an opportunity to come and work here, but also experience some of the activities and all of that. So we've seen that we've recovered. I think we're well on our way of recovery.
Are you able to discern between your local tourists and your international tourists? Do the local tourists do it differently to the international tourists? I ask that knowing that when you've got Americans coming here and people from Europe, the exchange rate is obviously in their favor.
Absolutely.
Is there a different market for local and international for what you do here?
Yes, there is definitely. You see, the differentiation for us is on the spend, but more than that, it's in the desire for authenticity. When international clients come, they want to connect with people a bit more. They want to engage. They want to know more about where you come from, how far do you travel. Sometimes they want to know what is the impact of what you're doing to the environment, to the communities you're around. Okay. And then you're finding that the locals just want to have fun. Yes, they very responsibly, but want to also have fun, because this is Sun City, and there's a lot of work that's been done to refurbish the place, and also we have done a lot of work in terms of ensuring our fleet is upgraded and all of that. So we're ready for that. So our locals are more like, we just want to rediscover the place. We want to rediscover the people. We want to rediscover what our country is offering. Whereas the international wants to connect a bit more deeper. They want to know more about the person that they're connecting with. Yeah.
And more about our culture.
Our culture.
How do we live the way
Absolutely.
that we live as well? They want to go quad biking and then have a chisanyama, for example.
That's it.
Whereas obviously we all know what it is. I was speaking to the GM of Sun City the other night, Brett Hoppy, and he was describing Sun City in the area as a node. That it's not just about Sun City, but it's about everything else.
Absolutely.
All the other lodges, the small up-and-coming companies that are starting off. Do you provide to them as well, or is it just to Sun City?
We provide to them. We provide to, for instance, the Kingdom Resort. We service the game drives over there as well, and the quad biking. And we also service the Kwamaritane, the Bakubung.
Yes,
we do the hot air balloon. Most of these lodges cater for international markets. So we provide hot air balloons for them as well. And so it's really just not about Sun City, and also B&B. We work very well with bed and breakfast establishments. We work with the tour operators, like local tour operators. We've got one called the Greater Pietermaritzburg Tour Operator Association. So we sort of allow them to have a piece of the pie as well.
When you now look at the tourism industry, I mean, yes, we're talking about Mankwe game trackers here, and it seems to have recovered very nicely. Congratulations. I wanted to get your thoughts, though, just on the tourism sector. You're in the tourism industry.
Yes.
What is not working for you? What do you think what do you wish is easier? Is it the marketing? Is it the public relations? Is it the advertising and support from government? If you could change one thing in your sector, not here at Mankwe, but just in the sector, what would you change? Because that's what the leadership conference has been about.
Yeah.
Speaking to people in the business to find solutions for the business. So what does that mean for you? What would you like to see change?
I think for me, it's just introducing the tourism subject or content at the primary phases. I think most of our learners discover tourism at high school. So if we could maybe start introducing the subject from primary level, so our students are educated. A lot of initiatives are done in terms of trying to bring people to come and do to stay in a place to do an activity, but not much is done in terms of educating people about why do we do tourism, or why do we talk about environmental efforts and conservation and all of that. And so I think most people only discuss, most of our I feel like there's a generational gap that needs to be breached in the tourism sector, where we don't just introduce it as a later on subject, an added on subject, but somehow we find a way to phase it in, or to inculcate it into what our learners are learning already at primary phases, so they already know about different provinces and all of that. We just don't they don't just get to discover it only at high school, but it's phased out. It's something that is part of their learning, it's part of their journey, and that they get educated on the impact, because it's really an ecosystem, this tourism.
Yeah.
It touches everything and it touches everyone.
Yeah.
So if we don't just wait until high school level, we start, I think.
And I think that's the whole point, is because I think as I say goodbye to you, Pumeza, thank you, it's been wonderful. Pumeza raising a very good point, Tommy, because what ends up happening is unless you are specializing at a school that does environmental studies, does conservation studies, chances are you're only going to be following it as a hobby. If you're naturally interested in the great outdoors, in conservation, in environmental affairs, and only once you get to a tertiary level, then you can formally study it. So I love the way Pumeza said that. Pumeza, thank you very, very much.
Most welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pumeza from Monkwe Game Trackers. Now, this is going to be fun to do. First of all, we're going to have to put our microphones down. Our team have been scurrying around. There's Scurra busy, our producer, busy showing off on the quad bike at the road. Yeah, waiting to crash. There's Stair, also one of our producers. Much better driver than Scurry is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and remember how to start this. Okay, here we go. This should be a good laugh. Let's put the microphones down for a second. I need to go into on. All right, Tommy, if you laugh at me, it's going to be a problem. I'm going to eat your biscuit that I stole for you earlier. Now I've got to start it. Nope, stalled already. How do I stall an automatic? Wait for it. Wait for it. Nope, mine doesn't want to start. Hang on a second. We're going to get it there. Yes, I'm alive. All right. If this is the last time I ever see you on eNCA and I write myself off, Tommy, it's been wonderful. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being part of the Tourism Business Council of SA. This is the way to end things. It's been a wonderful couple of days. Yes, there are issues, but yes, there are solutions. But most importantly, there's a lot of fun to be had. Tommy, I'm going to say goodbye to you now. I'm going to try and not fall off this and chase my team with Pumeza, and we'll see you back in Joburg next week. Thanks, everyone, for being part of the show. Thank you to the entire crew here. They've been great to work with, and I'll be back with you, Tums, on Monday.
Certainly looking forward to that. That's Gareth Edwards there on his quad bike along with the team, having a whale of a time out in Sun City as they bring an end to the Tourism Business Leadership Conference that has been taking place there over the past few days. Certainly having a great time. But it's Friday. Why come back today? I say they should spend the entire weekend at Sun City, and we'll see them bright and early on Monday once again.